Have you ever had that one friend who leaves you more tired than your full-time job, and they don't even pay you? Yeah, this video is about those people. Not the obvious haters, not the trolls in your comments. I'm talking about the people who smile at you, send you heart emojis, and somehow still slow down your entire life. The real danger isn't the stranger. We grow up thinking the biggest threat is some random enemy out there. But the people who usually hurt you the most, they know your birthday. They've seen you cry. They've heard your big dreams at 2 a.m. on a voice note. They know where the delete account button is in your life because you gave them the password. Centuries ago, a guy named Machiavelli studied power, politics, and people. He basically said, most people don't stand next to you because they love you. They stand next to you because it helps them. Status, comfort, safety, entertainment. And when the benefit disappears, their loyalty usually disappears with it. That sounds dark, but once you see it, you can't unsee it. The friend who lives in permanent crisis. Let's start with the easiest one to spot. The friend who is always going through something. Always. Every week it's, can we talk? I'm not okay. You're the only one who understands. Everyone leaves me, so you stay. You listen. You cancel your plans. You stay up late on calls like an unpaid therapist. You end the call emotionally wiped out. They end up feeling a bit better until the next crisis. Machiavelli would say something like, when your emotions are constantly being pulled, your power is being pushed away. These victim friends do something sneaky. They train you to feel guilty if you're not always there. You start thinking, if I don't reply fast, I'm a bad friend. If I say no, they might break down. If I put myself first, I'm selfish. But look at the math. You carry their problems. Who carries yours? Over time, your energy drops. Your goals get delayed. Your life becomes a side quest in their drama series. They're not always evil. Some are just stuck. But if their constant storms keep pulling you off your path, that's a problem. Helping people is good. Being emotionally drained 24/7 is not. Guilt, the soft remote control. Here's where it gets tricky. When you finally try to pull back, they don't shout. They say things like, after everything I've shared with you, I guess you've changed. Wow, I didn't expect this from you. That's not just sadness. That's control. Guilt is one of the quietest ways people keep you in place. You feel bad, so you go back. You feel responsible, so you stay stuck. Machiavelli would probably say, if someone can steer your emotions, they can steer your decisions. And once someone steers your decisions, your life is no longer fully yours. The friend who could be anyone, except real. Next, let's talk about the shapeshifter. You know the type. They talk differently with every group. They agree with everybody. They are best friends with whoever has the most power in the room. With you, they're, bro, I've always got you back. With others, they say, yeah, sometimes you're a bit much. They don't have a stable self. They just mirror whoever they're with. Machiavelli wrote that a smart ruler needs to notice traps before stepping into them. Shapeshifters are walking traps. They watch. They collect information. They learn your fears, your insecurities, your weak spots. And if one day turning on you benefits them, they know exactly which buttons to press. When they betray you, it doesn't feel like simple disappointment. It feels like they used your own life against you. Because they did. That's why this type is so dangerous. They don't attack with a knife. They attack with what they know. Reaction isn't power. Most people react when they feel betrayed. Send long paragraphs. Write angry notes and delete them. Reread old messages like detectives. That's the lion part of us. Loud, emotional, ready to roar. But Machiavelli suggested that real power is more fox than lion. Quiet, observant, strategic. The fox doesn't argue with the trap. It just doesn't step in. In real life, that means you don't need big fights. You don't need dramatic speeches. You don't need to announce, I'm done with you on Instagram stories. You just stop giving access. No drama, no essays, just distance. The friend who gets weird when you win. Now let's talk about the supportive friend who acts strange when your life starts working. You get a new job. They say, nice, but their face looks like they just bit a lemon. You share a big win. They change the topic. You post something you're proud of. They watch your story and say nothing. They clap the loudest when you're struggling. They go quiet when you shine. That's not shyness. That's jealousy trying to look polite. These silent competitors don't always attack you directly. They do smaller things. Downplay your achievement. Suggest you're too obsessed with your goals. Tell you to chill or slow down right when you're building momentum. Relax. You work too hard. Translation. Please stay at a level where I still feel okay about myself. They're not rooting for your failure. They're rooting for your average. Your life is a fort, not a public park. Imagine your life as a fortress. Every person in your circle is either adding bricks to the wall or quietly carving a little tunnel under it. The victim friend drains your resources. The shapeshifter studies your layout. The silent competitor loosens the bolts on the inside. None of this happens overnight. That's what makes it scary. Betrayal is usually slow. A small rumor, an opportunity they forgot to tell you about, a tiny pause before they speak well of you. Little things. Over time, big impact. Machiavelli basically said, a ruler falls more from the wrong people inside the walls than from enemies outside them. Same with you. Your life breaks more from bad access than from bad strangers. But they're not that bad. Here's where most people get stuck. You think, but they're also funny. But we've known each other for years. But they were there when I was broke / sad / lost. All of that can be true. Someone can be kind in many ways and still be wrong for your future. Loyalty alone is not enough. The question is, does this person sharpen me or soften me? Around them, do you sit up straighter mentally, or do you shrink a little to keep the peace? If you always have to dim your light so they don't feel insecure, you're paying for that relationship with your potential. That's too high a price. Your gut isn't being dramatic. You know that tiny twist in your stomach. When someone says something jokey that feels like a low-key insult, or that weird feeling when your name comes up in a group, and they pause for half a second too long, that's not paranoia. That's your instincts saying, hey, something's off here. Machiavelli's logic was simple. Once you doubt someone's loyalty, the risk doesn't go away. The crack in trust doesn't magically heal. It just gets better at hiding. So if you already feel it, you're not early. You might already be late. Cutting people off is not a crime. Let's be honest. Most of us stay in weak friendships because we're scared of being alone. We don't want to look cold. We hate uncomfortable conversations. So we drag dead friendships around like old luggage. We call it loyalty. Meanwhile, our goals are waiting in the corner like, hi, remember me? Machiavelli believed that hesitation is what destroys leaders, not big enemies. Hesitation. Every time you say, I'll deal with this later, maybe they'll change. It's not that serious. You pay in time, energy, and focus. Things you will never get back. Cutting someone off doesn't always mean blocking them everywhere. Sometimes it just means less access, less information, less emotional investment. You don't have to hate them. They just don't get to live in the front row anymore. Loneliness versus solitude. Here's the part no one likes. If you remove these 3 types of people, the constant victim, the jealous competitor, the shapeshifter chameleon, at first, it might feel lonely. Your phone might be quieter. Your weekends might look emptier. But that doesn't last. After the noise dies, something else shows up. Solitude. Solitude is not no one likes me. Solitude is you hearing your own thoughts again, you planning without 10 opinions, you taking action without asking for permission. That's where your real identity comes back. That's where your drive sharpens. That's where the right people can finally see you clearly. The people who are good for your future won't be scared of your boundaries. They won't be threatened by your ambition. They won't make you feel like you have to shrink to keep them. They'll clap when you win. They'll challenge you when you're lazy. They'll respect your no without drama. But you usually don't meet them until you stop babysitting the wrong ones. How to start a quiet audit. You don't need a big ceremony. You don't need to announce a friendship cleanse like a Netflix special. Just ask yourself, who do I feel smaller around? Who makes me feel guilty for growing? Who only calls when they want something? Who suddenly vanishes when I need help? Who jokes about my goals like I'm delusional? If a name pops into your mind, don't argue with it. That's your inner warning system. Then slowly, reply less, share less, depend less. No anger, no speech, just a new level of access. One clear takeaway. Here's the simple truth. You don't need more people. You need the right people. And anyone who makes your future feel heavier than your past doesn't belong in the next chapter. Machiavelli studied kings and power. You're just trying to build a solid life. But the rule is the same. Protect your circle like it's your castle. Choose carefully who gets inside, and never feel guilty for closing the gate.